in our church planting school in Atlanta, it is one of the core teachings that we do. Matter of fact, in the very first class that we teach, prayer's covered, and I teach it. I want to tell the stories to our church planners of how God used prayer not only early on, but continues to use prayer in our church. And these guys have got to make it one of the foundations of their church plant. And what I think a lot of these guys don't realize is that, and some of them do, but there's so much spiritual warfare that goes into pastoring anyways, but certainly trying to get a new church off the ground. And there's so many personality conflicts. There's so many people challenging their vision. There's so many long nights, early mornings. I mean, it presses heavy on a marriage. It presses heavy on kids. It's I tell people outside of raising my own kids, it's the hardest thing I've ever done. And they have got to have not only a very strong personal prayer ministry, but there's got to be prayer in their marriage. There's got to be a prayer foundation. They've got to have people praying for them in the church and praying outside of the church. And so it's a key. It's a key. And these guys, there's so many other things that are pulling at them, drawing at their attention. They're trying so hard to keep up with everything that they're hearing out there. There's so many books out there to read. There's so many conferences to go to. It's overwhelming. It really is. And I remember when we started Westridge, I bought, it was probably 25, 30 copies of Fresh Wind, Fresh Fire. And I handed them out to every one of my staff that was with me in the early days and all of our core group. And I said, I just want you to read this and tell me what you think. And out of that, we had a 2-year prayer meeting that came out of that book that really, I think, sustained us in those early years. And so, I want our church planners to know that this is not an option, a good idea. It's vital. They've got to do it. There's obviously a lot of challenges. There's so many things in being a pastor that you can't see. There's so many things that we deal with that are hard to even explain because there's so much going on in the spiritual world. And I know that the only way that I can get clarity on some of that stuff and to really push through some of it is just my prayer life, and also having people pray with me. And so I can't tell how many roadblocks that I have come up against, moments where I didn't truly know exactly where God was or how He was dealing with a certain situation, what His answer was, what He was trying to teach me. And the only way that I was able to bring clarity to that was through prayer. And then, to go beyond that, fasting was just, I had to bring at times, and still to this day, fasting into the picture just to break through some of the things that I was dealing with. And, there's times where, like anything else, pastors struggle. We struggle spiritually. We have moments of dryness in our ministries. We have moments where we're tired, we're worn out, we're dealing with things at home, or dealing with things with our kids, or just our schedule. Daniel Henderson says that Satan doesn't have to destroy you. All he has to do is distract you to be effective. And that has been so true in my own life. And the only way that I know to just blow past those moments, those dry times, those times when I don't know exactly where God's hand is in certain things or what He's trying to do, is I have to prayer's got to be part of that. And from the time of starting Westridge to where the church would be located, to where land would be, how we would get land, moving from school to school, we were desperate for the hand of God. And even to this day, just seriously desperate to know where God is wanting us to move next and what He wants us to do. And I don't know how you get that outside of prayer. And it's vital. And again, we just continue to put that out in front of our people. It's just this thing that God's given us, this amazing blessing, this gift. And I think Satan so often wants to just put it in our minds that it's not really what it is, that it really doesn't have the power that it has, that there's got to be some other formula out there. But it really comes back to that, and that consecrated life and just seeking God through prayer. So.